What are you truly focusing on right now? Most people become experts in things that don't matter. They know every detail about celebrity scandals, but remain novices in their own personal development. The average American spends over 3 hours daily on social media, but less than 10 minutes on deliberate personal growth. That's like knowing everything about someone else's garden, while your own withers from neglect. Here's the reality. There are roughly 5 or 7 core areas that genuinely matter in life. Everything else is just distraction. Your physical well-being forms the foundation. Without health, nothing else functions optimally. Look at Hugh Jackman. At 55, he maintains incredible physical discipline, waking before dawn to train, following strict nutrition protocols. That's not casual effort. That's mastery. When your body performs at its peak, that energy radiates through every dimension of your life. Your career, relationships, mental clarity. Everything elevates. Your emotional state determines your quality of life. You can accumulate vast wealth, achieve widespread recognition, but if your dominant emotions are frustration and resentment, that becomes your lived experience. Consider Adele, immensely successful, yet she took significant time away from her career to address emotional health issues. She recognized that no amount of Grammy Awards could compensate for inner turmoil. Relationships, particularly intimate ones, deliver both our greatest joys and our deepest sorrows. Most people approach relationships reactively when they should be mastering the principles of genuine connection. Look at Barack and Michelle Obama. Their partnership wasn't built on passive acceptance, but on intentional growth and mutual respect through challenging circumstances. How are you managing your time? Most professionals mistake activity for accomplishment. They exhaust themselves crossing off tasks without creating meaningful value. Jeff Bezos doesn't make 70 different decisions daily. He focuses on a handful of high-impact choices that generate exponential results. Are you investing your hours in ways that yield genuine returns for yourself and those you care about? Your career trajectory demands mastery, not dabbling. Statistics don't lie. Approximately 96% of businesses fail within a decade. Survival doesn't equate to thriving or fulfillment. Examine Howard Schultz's approach with Starbucks. He didn't just sell coffee. He obsessively crafted an experience, attending to every detail from bean sourcing to store ambiance. That comprehensive commitment separates sustainable success from fleeting ventures. Financial mastery means transforming money from a source of anxiety to a tool for possibilities. It's not about accumulation for its own sake, but creating a foundation that enables choices. Warren Buffett exemplifies this principle, possessing extraordinary wealth, yet maintaining modest personal consumption. And regarding your spiritual dimension, whatever your beliefs, are you actively embodying them? Meaningful spirituality manifests through personal growth and contribution to others. Consider Desmond Tutu, who didn't merely profess reconciliation, but lived it through South Africa's profound transition, demonstrating forgiveness when revenge would have been easier. When you're genuinely growing, you feel vital. When you're meaningfully contributing, that vitality multiplies. The average person isn't physically optimized, doesn't maintain passionate relationships, struggles professionally, and remains financially constrained. Yet some individuals thrive across all these domains. I've dedicated my life to identifying these exceptional few, extracting their patterns of excellence, and making these principles accessible to everyone. What fundamentally drives human behavior? We're motivated by core psychological needs. the desire for security and comfort, the craving for novelty and challenge, the need to feel significant and valued, the hunger for connection and intimacy, the imperative to grow beyond our current capacities, and the urge to contribute beyond ourselves. Which of these needs primarily drive your decisions? This unconscious prioritization shapes everything. If security dominates your hierarchy, you'll resist necessary change, even when it promises growth. Take Kodak, for example. They actually invented the digital camera in 1975, but shelved it to protect their film business. Their need for certainty and security ultimately led to their downfall when digital photography revolutionized the industry. If significance rules your motivational structure, you'll construct carefully curated personas on social media where perception trumps authenticity. Just look at influencers who rent private jets for Instagram photos while being deeply in debt, sacrificing financial security for the appearance of success. Creating an extraordinary life requires mastery in two distinct domains. First, the science of achievement, systematically transforming vision into reality. This involves specific strategies, resources, and methodologies. Consider Elon Musk's approach to seemingly impossible challenges, breaking complex objectives into fundamental principles, then methodically building solutions from first principles. These achievement frameworks can be learned and replicated. But here's the crucial insight I've gained from working with millions across 4 decades. Many extraordinary achievers still lead profoundly unfulfilling lives. They contact me from private jets and penthouses, outwardly successful, yet inwardly empty. That's because the second essential component is the art of fulfillment. Achievement without fulfillment represents the ultimate failure. Consider Anthony Bourdain, brilliant chef, acclaimed author, host of groundbreaking television, global cultural ambassador. He reached the pinnacle of his field, experienced cultures most only dream of, influenced millions, yet ultimately took his own life. That represents the most devastating failure, creating value for everyone except yourself. What governs your life more than external circumstances? Decisions. The most consequential decision you can make is choosing to maintain a beautiful internal state, regardless of external conditions. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering emerges when self-absorption dominates your worries, frustrations, comparisons to others. You can terminate this pattern instantly by directing attention toward something greater than yourself. Take Paul Rusesabagina, who saved 1,268 refugees during the Rwandan genocide, portrayed in the film Hotel Rwanda. In the midst of unimaginable horror, he focused not on his own fear, but on protecting others. This outward focus quite literally saved his sanity, along with those lives. When you're drowning in self-pity or anxiety, helping someone else becomes the life raft for your own emotional well-being. Your mind evolved over millions of years primarily for survival, not happiness. It's programmed to scan continuously for threats and problems. This hypervigilance served our ancestors well on the savannah, but creates perpetual dissatisfaction in modern life. Think about how you might receive 99 compliments and 1 criticism. Which do you remember and obsess over? The criticism. Even Nobel Prize winners report focusing on the few negative reviews rather than the overwhelming positive reception. However, you can intentionally redirect this powerful neurological machinery. Look at someone like David Goggins, who transformed from an overweight exterminator to an elite ultramarathoner and Navy SEAL by mastering his mental state. proving we can reprogram our default settings. Life remains unpredictable and finite. Steve Jobs faced terminal cancer at the height of his capabilities and influence. None of us controls our timeline. If you received a terminal diagnosis with 1 month remaining, would you waste precious hours in petty grievances? Or would you immerse yourself in meaningful experiences, profound connections, and genuine appreciation? Most individuals operate under the delusion that when I achieve X, when I acquire Y, when circumstances become Z, then I'll experience fulfillment. But Viktor Frankl survived Nazi concentration camps and discovered meaning amid unimaginable suffering. If fulfillment was possible in Auschwitz, what legitimate excuse remains for anyone in ordinary circumstances? When you maintain states of curiosity, gratitude, and compassion, you automatically enhance every interaction. You become a more effective leader, partner, colleague, friend. You elevate not just your experience, but the experience of everyone you encounter. Exchange expectation for appreciation and witness immediate transformation. Consider the practice of gratitude journaling. Studies at UC Davis showed that people who wrote down 3 things they were grateful for each day experienced a 25% increase in happiness and significantly lower rates of depression after just 21 days. This isn't pop psychology. It's rewiring your neural pathways. Lady Gaga achieved unprecedented commercial success, but has spoken openly about finding true fulfillment only when she learned to appreciate her journey rather than constantly reaching for the next achievement marker. If you cannot access profound satisfaction in this moment, engaged in meaningful conversation, connecting with loved ones, experiencing nature's beauty, I guarantee that additional achievements, possessions, or recognition cannot manufacture it later. Developing financial intelligence represents a learnable skill set, but experiencing wealth remains a decision available immediately. Look at the Blue Zones research by Dan Buettner. He studied the world's longest-living, happiest communities like Okinawa, Japan, and Korea, Greece. Despite modest financial resources, these communities report higher levels of life satisfaction than wealthy nations. Their wealth comes from strong social connections, purpose, and appreciation of simple pleasures. Meanwhile, studies show that beyond $75,000 annual income, additional money barely increases happiness. Some of the world's objectively poorest communities demonstrate greater joy, laughter, and authentic connection than can be found in affluent neighborhoods filled with isolation and comparison. Why defer happiness to some hypothetical future that may never materialize? You can claim that experience now through conscious choice. That represents my invitation to you